Welcome to Bush Memorial Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri for this afternoon's NFL game matching the Chicago Bears and the St. Louis Cardinals. Hi, everybody. I'm Frank Lieber along with Johnny Morris. I know Bear fans are all hopped up over what Mr. Jack Pardee has wrought.
Yes, Frank, Jack Pardee has made the Bears respectable after many frustrating years. 2 years ago, they were 4-10. He brought them to 7-7 last year, and this is the year they're going to go for the playoffs. Jack Pardee has done a job. Of course, he has a lot of help, Frank, because you know Walter Payton gained 160 yards last week as the Bears opened with a victory against Detroit. Payton can do it all, and you're going to see some exciting runs today.
Well, the Cardinals are a little concerned. They've had defensive problems in the past, sure, but last week they were shut out, and Don Coryell is not happy at all.
No, I talked with him about an hour yesterday. He still can't get over the fact that his team could not score a touchdown against Denver the whole game because he has such great people at the attack positions. But they're going to try and rectify that today. And, of course, Terry Metcalf will be a key. As you know, Frank, he can do it all. He's got quickness. He does have the bad hand. He broke a hand, has a small cast on it. He caught 6 passes, but they used him sparingly in first down plays, and that may be the case today. But Metcalf can do it all just like Walter Payton.
Well, he is to the St. Louis Cardinals certainly what Walter Payton is to the Chicago Bears. We're kind of looking for a high-scoring game this afternoon. Bears put a lot of points on the board, and the Cardinals a bit vulnerable on defense, so it should be an exciting football game.
Well, the Bears are hurting because of a couple of defensive players out. Wally Chambers had his knee flushed out, whatever that means. They took particles out of the knee, and he's not going to play today. They hope that he can play next week, and Doug Plank is out defensively for the Bears. So they're a little bit weakened at the defensive end of it, and they gave up 360 yards last week. So you got to figure that St. Louis has a chance maybe to score some points, but the Cardinals on the other side of the coin did very well against Denver last week. Even though they lost the game, they only allowed 1 touchdown. That's pretty good.
And they moved the ball very well. In fact, 6 times they got inside the 30-yard line, and Jim Bakken missed 4 field goal attempts, and that is a rarity. We're ready for the opening kickoff here at Bush Memorial Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. The Chicago Bears in the dark jerseys and the St. Louis Cardinals in white. And it'll be the Bears kicking off to the Cardinals from left to right. Their place kicker, number 16, is Bob Thomas, the former Notre Damer. And the Cardinals deploying their receiving formation. Nelson is back there, 38. Terry Metcalf, 21. And Jerry Latin, number 32. But the prime man, of course, is Terry Metcalf. Metcalf standing on the goal line. Capacity crowd. This has been a sellout for some time. 51,000 fans on hand. It's a very warm, humid afternoon with temperatures in the 80s at the present time and a lot of humidity. Artificial turf here, of course, at Busch Stadium. Here we go. The whistle from the referee, Jim Tunney, and we are underway. Bears trying to make it 2 in a row. This time it goes to the short man. That's Lee Nelson, second-year man. And Nelson almost breaks it as he got by the 40-yard line before he was finally dropped by number 84 of the St. Louis Cardinals. That's a 36-yard return. So you're looking now at the Cardinal offense as they get ready to bring it up to the line of scrimmage. There's that great offensive line of St. Louis. Finney's the only guy there that hasn't made all-pro. They're going to start off with Jim Otis, number 35, at one of the running backs. And that is Otis up a big hole. Crosses the 50 to the 45, 44-yard line of the Chicago Bears. A pickup of 15 yards. Gary Fensick made the stop. And boy, that opened up, Johnny.
I think St. Louis has decided they're going to get some touchdowns. Beautiful blocking up the gut as St. Louis on the first play busts Jim Otis with that power and already into Bear territory. And the St. Louis Cardinals have been frustrated all week. The coaches, the players could not believe they couldn't score a touchdown. They're going to try and rectify it today.
So they get a first down on their very first play from scrimmage. 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line of the Chicago Bears. Ike Harris to the right side. Mel Gray to the left. Hart handing again to Otis, this time over the left side. And he hurdles inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. Pickup of 7. Let's look at the Bears' defense. Slightly revamped. You see Ron Rydalch, number 76, in there. He's filling in for the injured Wally Chambers, who they hope to have back next week against New Orleans. The Chicago linebackers, and they've gone all the way through preseason this way, and the change in the secondary is Fensick filling in for Doug Plank for the 2nd week in a row. 2nd down, 3. Hart calling the signals. They've got the ball spotted at the Bear 38-yard line. Otis on his 3rd straight carry, and this time he is tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. The wily veteran Doug Buffon, number 55, breaking through to make the stop at the 42.
And he is something else because Buffon, not only a smart football player, but a gutsy one. He is coming off a torn Achilles tendon injury last year, has done very well this year, rehabilitated, came across, played his keys well, got across before that play could even get started.
So the Cardinals now face a 3rd down and 7. Loss of 4 yards on that play. Ball is at the 42-yard line of the Bears. Metcalf has now come into the lineup. Hart back to throw his first pass of the day, and he finds his receiver for the first down. That is the tight end, J.V. Kane, making the reception at the 32-yard line of the Chicago Bears. Cardinals, 1st and 10.
And the Bears had double coverage on Kane, but watch the pass blocking. Roger Finney takes Newsom, 87, out, and Hart goes forward in the pocket, a double team, but the pass was too perfect. There's nothing that could be done about it. Clemens and Fensick in on the tackle. Another first down for St. Louis.
Officials mark it at the 31-yard line of the Chicago Bears. Cardinals have taken the opening kickoff. This is much the way that preseason game went between these two clubs, where the Cardinals simply hung on to the football. Latin caught at the line of scrimmage and shoved back, lost maybe a yard. Hey, all the yellow that's going on. There must be quite a few Chicago fans down here.
Yes, it was a short trip, so a lot of them came, I guess. That time, Wayman Bryant came across the line of scrimmage and met Otis and just plugged it up. Bryant has had a bad shoulder, number 50, but he did a good job on that one, plugging it up before the run could get started. So you can see so far what the Bears are doing. Their linebackers, outside linebackers, as soon as they see a key, they're trying to come across the line of scrimmage, crash, and ruin it before it can get started.
2nd down, 11. Cardinals at the 32-yard line of the Chicago Bears. Latin and Otis, the setbacks. And here is Hart. Had trouble getting it away. Waited a moment, finally drilled it out, trying to hit Jerry Latin on the far sidelines. He was well covered over there. Wayman Bryant was out of the area, so was Gary Fensick. So that'll set up a 3rd and 11. Nice bit of faking to Otis there.
Yes, it was, and the pass was there. It's just that Latin had turned around. Somebody was running right at him, and he was kind of backpedaling and couldn't hang on to the ball. But St. Louis, as you know, last week was inside the 36 times and couldn't get a score across. They're down to the 32-yard line now.
3rd down and 11. Ball is at the 32-yard line of the Chicago Bears. Cardinals on the first possession of the day. Protection good for a moment, and then it caved in. Big rush on the blitz that time. Wayman Bryant, number 50, the outside linebacker, and that is a rarity when you see Hart go down.
And he beat the block. Latin could not stop Wayman Bryant as he came through and made the tackle, and Hart was coming from the blind side, and Hart couldn't even see him. No chance. Those backs have got to pick up the linebackers, and it's the toughest job for a running back to do such a thing, and that time Mr. Latin missed his block.
Here is Bakken. This will be a 49-yard field goal attempt. Worley puts it down. It is up. It is good.
Well, he must feel pretty good after missing those 4 last week. All of a sudden, he's a hero again in St. Louis. He's had a rough week, but he didn't let it bother him.
A 49-yard field goal by Jim Bakken, with 11 minutes, 19 seconds left to play in the opening period. And the Cardinals lead the Bears 3-0.
Like I tell my friends, I said, see a Firestone deal if you're having trouble out your ties.
Ask a friend about Firestone, Firestone, Firestone.
When you're driving on a Firestone tire, it's a good feeling.
You and I, when we go to buy a tire, I don't believe we're experts. You need somebody to explain to you. That's why I feel I can depend on Firestone. I don't feel that they've ever let me down.
Firestone.
Some people think all color TVs are pretty much the same. I'm a TV service technician, and I say bunk.
In a nationwide survey, independent TV service technicians gave their opinion of color TVs. They picked one brand, more than any other, for highest quality and for fewest repairs. One brand, Zenith, for the 6th straight year.
Zenith says the quality goes in before the name goes on. And you know what? It really does.
59-yard drive in 8 plays as Bakken prepares to kick off. He missed 4 field goals against Denver last week, had 2 of them blocked, and the coaches said, really, he just kicked him low. It was his fault. He had a very bad day, but he's won so many games for the Cardinals in the past that they weren't at all concerned. So he hammers home his first try of the afternoon from 49 yards away. Vince Evans is the deep man. Evans at the 7-yard line, back to the 20. Nailed at the 23. Kurt Alderman, number 50, making the stop. Here's the Chicago backfield when they'll come out of the huddle. Harper and Payton, the running backs, behind Bob Avellini. The wide receivers, that's the group they have been starting, of course. Might see a little more of John Gilliam today, we understand. And the Bears' offensive line. Interesting thing about this Bear offense is that they don't have a starter on the offensive unit who has more than 2 years pro experience. In fact, this ball club of Chicago averages just over 25 years a man. Harper. You get so used to saying Payton, you say it almost automatically, huh?
That could be indicative of this ball game. Harper carries the first time.
Tim Carney, the middle linebacker, making the stop. Harper is, I guess, your classic blocking back. Great compliment to Walter Payton.
Yes, he blocks most of the time, but ironically, Payton and Harper are 1-2 in the NFC after the first week. Harper gained 91 yards last week, and of course Payton had 160, so the 1-2 backs in the NFC.
Pickup of a yard on 2nd down 9. Avellini with the swing pass to Payton. He can fly, and he does across the 30 to the 35, and it looks like he's got a first down. Let's take a look at the Cardinal defense now as they set up. Of course, they've had defensive problems down through the years. They've never quite been able to solve. They have a lot of injury problems. Mike Dawson was their Rookie of the Year last year. Steve Neal's there, the left side linebacker, replacing Larry Stallings, who is now retired. And they lost Norm Thompson, who played out his option, and Perry Smith is replacing him at a corner. That's the way the Cardinals line up defensively. It is 1st and 10 for the Bears at their 35-yard line. That's Payton. Break it off, a tackle at the line of scrimmage to the 40. Payton starts to go back and gets to the 43-yard line, but he's a hard man to hang on to.
Well, those St. Louis Cardinal fans are going to see what Walter Payton is all about on this one. Charlie Davis is a big man, number 76, and Payton literally ran over him, bounced off him, and got the extra yardage out of it. But he really hit that line, and that's why Walter Payton's going to gain over 1,000 yards this year. He gained almost 1,400 last year.
Pickup of 7. It'll be 2nd down 2 for the Bears at their 43-yard line. Payton had 160 yards rushing last week against Detroit, far and away the leading mark in the National Football League's opening weekend of play. Avellini giving to Harper. Harper got the first down as he breaks across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Mark Arneson, number 57, and Sensabaugh, number 20, combined for the stop.
Now let's take a look at that play, and you're going to watch Payton blocking for Harper. Now he's the lead back. Carney gets through. 56 gets through, but cannot get through Payton as he throws his block, and Harper bounces off to the outside. But you can see Walter Payton, beside being a great runner, compliments his fullback and throws a block. And there's a lot of great runners who won't do that or who think they should run and not block.
That's the Bears' second first down, and this their first drive of the afternoon. They trail 3-0. 8:30 left to play in the opening period. From their 47, Avellini cranks it up, and they've got another first down as he nails Bo Rather, number 80, with the first down pass at the 41-yard line of the Cardinals.
A simple turn-in by Rather, and the pass was there, the timing was there, so was Perry Smith, but not quite in time as the Bears garner another first down.
John Gilliam checks into the Bear lineup now. Official spotted with the nose of the ball just outside the Cardinal 40-yard line.
Frank, you know the Bears only threw 9 passes last week.
That's right. Of course, when you're running like they did, picking up 260 yards rushing, you don't have to throw it that much. Payton spinning off a couple of tacklers. Nice hole over the middle, and he reaches the 36 for a pickup of 5. 2nd down 5 as Mark Arneson gathers him in.
Arneson's done a nice job for St. Louis. Of course, he played the middle, has moved to the outside. St. Louis has had some problems at linebacking, and various people hurt and injured, and finally they're settling down with the 3 that they have now.
Bears are using Rather and John Gilliam, alternating plays from the bench. 2nd down 5. That's from the 36. It is Harper. Maybe a yard to the 35-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and a long 4, contained very well by Steve Neal's number 53, and Mike Dawson, number 73. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience, and any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals and the National Football League is prohibited. Third down and a long 4 for the Chicago Bears from the 36-yard line of the St. Louis Cardinals. Scott to the left side. Avellini. Sideline throw, and that is good for the first down. That is pulled in by James Scott. Harry Smith defending, but the Bears keep their drive going at the 27.
Well, Bob Avellini called on to throw, and Smith was there. He went high for Scott's head and tried to reach over as the pass blocking held up. Watch this. But Scott did a good job of hanging on to the ball for another first down, so the Bears have made those firsts when they need them so far in this game.
They started this drive back at their 23 after taking the Cardinals kickoff. It has now reached the 27-yard line of the St. Louis Cardinals, 1st and 10. Avellini at the throttle. He slips it to Harper, who tries the middle. And Rowland gets a couple to the 25 before he's shoved back by Charlie Davis and Mike Dawson. Second down. Bears will need 8 for the first down with the ball at the 25-yard line of the St. Louis Cardinals. That preseason score, by the way, was 23-14 Cardinals. Cardinals also played Denver in preseason, lost to them, and then lost to them again last week on the first weekend of regular season play. It is Payton. There's an example again of an excellent block by the lead back. Roland Harper, and Payton reaches the 20-yard line. That'll set up third down, and the Bears will need 3 for the first down.
You know, you can obviously see how great a runner Payton is, but you can also notice the holes that the Bears are making. They are throwing some awful good blocks. That time, Reeve Story, 69, was out. Kicked Niels out so that Payton could cut inside. When you have a combination of the line blocking and a great runner like Payton, you're going to get yards.
This is one of the oldest rivalries in the National Football League. 79th meeting. 3rd and 3. Bears at the Cardinal 20. Nice hole again up the middle. And the Bears continue to run the football very well, alternating their backs. First it's Payton, this time it's Harper. Mixing them up pretty good.
They sure are. And Harper is probably the most underrated fullback in the business there. You could see another big hole. Good blocking by the offensive line. There's so much emphasis on Payton that when Harper does carry, he's got some room.
Got an update for you on Atlanta, Washington. Low-scoring affair in Washington. Redskins lead at 3-0. That's in the second quarter.
2-3.
Bears have the football on the Cardinal 12-yard line. 1st and 10. Payton to about the 9, maybe the 8 for a pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd down 7 as Mark Arneson makes the stop. That's 4 carries for 21 yards for Payton here in the first period. Here's another update for you. We'll keep you abreast of all the scores this afternoon. New Orleans, the Saints game this afternoon.
The last report we had, it was 7-7 New Orleans and Detroit in the first period. Hank Stram needs a victory, wouldn't you agree?
I would think so. Had a pretty good preseason, then he stubbed his toe against Green Bay last week. 2nd down 7. From the 8-yard line, Harper taking the pitch. Harper is down to the 5 and dropped at that point. Mike Sensabaugh, number 20, and Steve Niels, number 53, in the stop. That's an update now for you. The Saints scored again in the second period. So they lead the Lions 14-7. Both of those clubs winless the first weekend. Baltimore, no surprise, 2 touchdowns up on the Jets in the second quarter. Our score, Cardinals 3, Bears nothing. But the Bears are threatening. They have the ball at the 5-yard line. 3rd down 4. They have to get just about to the 1-yard line to pick up the first down. Avellini fires it over the middle, incomplete. Intended receiver was Greg Latta, the tight end, number 88. Steve Niels applying a lot of pressure.
Good defense by the Cardinals. That time Avellini had nobody to throw it to, and he just really threw it in desperation. The Cardinals came up with a big defensive play when they needed it.
Thomas was 1 out of 2 in field goals against the Lions. This should be a little more than a chip shot for him here. They will place it down at the 12. So make it a 22-yard effort. Bears going for the equalizer here. It's up, and they have it. Score is tied at 3. We have 2 minutes, 34 seconds left to play in the first period at Bush Memorial Stadium. And we'll be back in just a moment.
Europe's most successful new car in history comes to America. Introducing Fiesta. Now imported from Germany by Ford. Fiesta. It gave European drivers the precise control of rack and pinion steering. And road-gripping Michelin radial tires. The power that took it from 0 to 50 in an average of 8.8 seconds. And front disc brakes that brought it from 50 to 0 in an average of 3.3 seconds. Fiesta has the traction and control of front-wheel drive, yet it also has excellent gasoline economy and a modest base sticker price. Fiesta. Test drive Europe's most successful new car in history at more than 5,000 authorized Ford dealers across America.
Frank Lieber along with Johnny Morris, Bush Memorial Stadium in St. Louis. Renewal of the traditional rivalry between the Bears and the Cardinals. Thomas preparing to kick off. 15 plays on that drive, took him 72 yards. And really balanced nicely. 3 out of 4 in the passing department for Avellini. And Peyton Rush for 22 yards, Harper at 17.
And I would imagine that Thomas will try and keep it away from Metcalf. The Bears do a lot of split kicking or kicking to the side to stay away from the man who, somebody like a Terry Metcalf.
Well, they were reading your mind, John. So they'll have to do it again from back at the 30-yard line. He was trying to aim that one in the direction of Lee Nelson, who fielded the opening kickoff. Of course, Nelson carried it back beyond the 40-yard line. Terry Metcalf. It's the man they call the franchise here in St. Louis.
Well,
Don Corio's taking a different little tack now. I understand this year with his running backs. He's going to try what he calls a fresh back system that we might talk about. He figures he really doesn't have any starters. He's got 5 guys, and he wants to keep them fresh.
That's right, particularly Metcalf. On a first down situation or a 3rd and 1 where it's an obvious running situation, he may not use Metcalf and rest him for times when they want to use the attack. I'm not so sure that that's, the wisest. Sometimes you get a guy like Metcalf, just like a Peyton, you want him in the ball game as much as you can get him. That's the way some coaches look at it. But they want to rest him and save him for the key times in the game. And this is a key time, anytime he can get his hand on the ball.
All right, Thomas quick kicking this one up the middle. Metcalf winds up with it at the 20, 25, and to the 28-yard line. Well, everybody was grabbing for that one. Rather made the stop, number 80. Cards will put it in play from their 28-yard line, 1st and 10. So each team has had the football once, and each has scored once. Jim Hart, that's the way Jim has done down through the years. Not really that well against the Bears. Only 45% of his passes. And a record of 2-1. Last regular season meeting was in 1975. That was in Chicago, and the Cardinals won it by a score of 34-20. They work Otis up the middle out to the 32-yard line for a pickup of 3 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down 7 as Billy Newsom, number 87, makes the stop.
There was quite a confrontation on that one between Conrad Dobler and Ron Rideouts. The Bears have switched their defensive tackles because they want Rideouts. Now they switch back again on Dobler because he's more of a power type tackle, but they've switched back again now. So they're doing some tricks with their defensive line.
Cardinals moving from their 31-yard line. Hart splitting J.B. Kane out wide to the right side. And again, they go up the middle to Otis, and Otis carries beyond the 35 to the 36-yard line. Tackled by Reeves. That'll set up 3rd down. And the Cards need a short 3 for the 1st down. Otis getting a lot of work in the early going.
Yes, he's a good runner, that bull runner that they need. They don't throw him very many passes, but you ask him to run straight ahead, and he'll do it for you.
5 carries for 26 yards. He's averaging 5 yards a whack. 3rd and 3. Cards at their 36-yard line. Hart. Mel Gray at the 45 of Chicago. That's going to be a foot race if he gets out of the open. He's down to the 27. Boy, he's the flyer. He has once run a 9-200. He may not be as fast as he used to be. Gary Fensick caught him. Did a good job at getting into clear.
He's got that great speed, and he beat a good man in Alan Ellis. Now watch the little dip to the inside and then cut back to the outside. And he is open. Then he comes inside of Ellis as he comes over to make the reaction. And Fensick is on the chase 45. He might have been able to outrun Fensick straight ahead, but he tried to cut back behind. But a nice gain by Mel Gray, a man who can run that 100 in 9-2, and that's picking him up and laying him down.
Less than 30 seconds to play in the opening period. Score tied at 3. Cardinals on the move now with a first down at the Bear 27. This could be the last play of the first period. Jackie Smith is in there, and so is Kane. So we've got a double tight end situation. They go to Otis, and Otis almost broke it beyond the line of scrimmage. Hanging on for dear life that time was the Chicago Bears' Gary Fensick, number 45. There's the gun. That's the end of the first quarter of play with the score, the Chicago Bears 3 and the St. Louis Cardinals 3.
I mean, it was really a good movie.
It was good, wasn't it?
Oh, honey, look, some poor guy left his lights on.
Larry.
Is he going to be in trouble?
Larry.
Boy, am I glad it isn't me.
Larry, it is you.
It is me.
Oh.
The Die Hard has extra power to start your car when most batteries won't. Starting soon in your neighborhood. Sold only at Sears.
From the people who brought you Die Hard batteries, Road Handler tires, and Steady Rider shock absorbers comes the Sears Muzzler. The aluminized muffler that's only $19.99 installed. It's so tough, Sears promises the muzzler will last as long as you own your American-made car. Or return it for refund or replacement free. And if Sears installed it, they'll install the new one free. The Muzzler, only $19.99 installed. Only at Sears.
Watch the spectacular television premiere of That's Entertainment Part 2 tonight, starting at 8, 7 Central and Mountain Time, right here.
There's the man they say is, some say the meanest, some say the dirtiest man in pro football.
Well, I think he helped build that reputation by some of the things that he said. He got his picture on the front page of Sports Illustrated. Now I think the officials all look for him. You know, they say it's bad luck to be on the front page because they're watching him now. He had 2 key penalties, I think, last week against Denver that hurt him, but he's one of the best. He's great. He's got the knack of intimidating people. Maybe we'll see what he does on this series.
Second down 5 as we start the second quarter. Cardinals have the football at the Bear 22. Otis and Jerry Latin are the setbacks behind Jim Hart. That's Latin. Got a couple of tough yards down to about the 22-yard line. Latin was an 11th round draft choice in 1975, and he won a spot in the club that year by leading the Cardinals in rushing during preseason. And he beat out a second-round selection, James Germany from New Mexico State.
And Jerry Latin is from Northern Illinois University up near Chicago, as is Jerry Myers. So 2 football players from Northern Illinois.
Third down. Well, they still got about 5 left for the first down, a little less than 5, actually. Ball marked at the 22-yard line. Metcalf in now in the passing situation. Hart gets it out of there quickly to Metcalf. He's at the 30. He's at the 25. Inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. There you saw the moves of Terry Metcalf, who looked like he was going to be bottled up behind the line of scrimmage. A little juke here, a little juke there. Let's look at it again, John.
Okay, let's watch the pass rush here. Watch 87. It's kind of interesting. He's rushing the passer, and he could have quit on the play, but 87, Billy Newsome, will come back from out of the right of your screen as Metcalf makes some great moves, and then here comes Newsome and Wayman Bryant to make the tackle. Great running by Terry Metcalf, but some hustle by the Bears' interior line. Once they were out of the play, they got back into it.
4th and 2, so Bakken comes on for the field goal try from the left hash mark, 36 yards. And it's good. So Bakken is 2 for 2, and the Cardinals have regained the lead by a score of 6-3 with 13 minutes and 29 seconds left to play at Busch Memorial Stadium.
Sir, we all know Mobil 1 is the oil that saves you gas. Give me another good reason to buy it.
Well, it lasts. And lasts.
How long will Mobil 1 last? We drove it 15,000 miles without an oil change. And after all that, found Mobil 1 still protects as well as new ordinary oil.
And lasts. Lasts.
Mobil 1, the oil that saves you gas, saves you oil changes.
Stuntman, you get the bruises instead of the glory. You hit the deck and bite the dust till your bones ache. But now comes Miller time. Time to reach for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller Beer.
There's the book on the St. Louis scoring drive as Bakken tees it up again. I'm getting the impression, John, that everybody's had the football has scored every time they've had it. Maybe a case where the last team that scores wins.
It's an offensive game, and very interesting. The Bears now with Vince Evans returning the kicks. He'll return Bakken's kick. Vince Evans, a quarterback.
I want to ask you about that. What's he doing back there?
He wants to play. He has a very unique contract.
Vince Evans, former quarterback at Southern Cal, a rookie at the 2-yard line, out to the 15, 20, and Evans is really hit at the 25. All right, let's talk a little bit about Vince Evans. What happened there?
Well, he has a unique contract that when he signed, he wanted the Bears to agree that he would play no position except quarterback unless he gave them permission. So when it came down to the nitty-gritty, he wasn't going to play this year because of the fact that they have Avellini and they have Mike Phipps. But Evans wanted to play, and they said, would you return kicks and we'll keep you on the active roster? He said yes, and he's done a very good job.
First and 10 now for the Bears at their 25-yard line. Harper finding a lot of running room, picks up 11 yards and a first down at the 38-yard line. Roland Harper. Bob Bell making the stop. Good blocking.
Great blocking. Good hole. The left guard, Noah Jackson, blocked down perfectly. Harper hit through the hole, and another big gain.
Harper led the Bears with 29 pass receptions last season, only the second running back in the last 11 years to do that. He has never gained 100 yards in a game. That 91 he had against Detroit last week was 2 yards short of his personal high. He had 93 last year against Minnesota. Avellini, quick out to Scott. Scott is run out of bounds at the 45-yard line, or close to it, by Bob Bell, who is all over the field, but not before the Bears pick up another 7. But we've got a marker down. First flag of the afternoon. For those of you interested in who is inactive this afternoon, the Bears have their 2 injured players, Doug Plank and Wally Chambers, on the inactive list, so they are not suited up. And for the benefit of announcers everywhere, the Cardinals' 2 inactive players are Steve Pizarkowicz and Steve Okanuski, for which we have nothing against their ability, but we thank Cardinal management. They've made our afternoon a lot easier. Here's Jim Tunney, the referee, to explain the penalty to you.
Ineligible lineman downfield, offense number 75. 10 yards, first down.
Jeff Seavey.
That was a quick type screen with the quick pass out there, and Seavey probably went across to get into the flow and just left too soon.
That moves it back to the 28-yard line, so the Bears now have a 1st and 20. Payton trying to hurdle a couple of tacklers at the line of scrimmage, squirts out to the 32-yard line. Mike Dawson, number 73, and Carney, number 56, the middle linebacker, filling the hole. Now, I know you played with Sayers 2 or 3 years. Let me ask your honest opinion. How do you compare these two guys? Everybody else compares them, Johnny.
Well, I think that Walter Payton will... I mean, they're both great runners. I think Sayers, if I had to take one player on one play, I might take Sayers. If I had to take a player for a game, for a season, or for a career, I'd take Walter Payton.
2nd down, 16. Bears trying to get themselves out of a hole here at their 31-yard line. Again, that quick out to Scott at the sidelines, and he's run out of bounds after short yardage to the 37. Perry Smith, number 45. was over there quickly.
Great play by Scott as he just made his turnout, but you're going to give him that little short pass like that when it's a 15, 20-yard situation. So you'll give him the 5, but the pattern and the timing was there. And those are the things that they work on all day, every practice, to try and hit the timing on those short passes. It makes a difference in winning and losing ball games.
On 3rd and 10, the Bears are going with 3 wide receivers. They got Gilliam in there, and Scott, and Rather, as Avellini hangs up a rainbow for Scott. Almost ran underneath it at the 15-yard line, and the crowd goes, ooh. So close.
He has a tremendous second gear, James Scott, and you saw it there because he was covered. The ball was thrown long, and all of a sudden, he turns it on. Perry Smith is running beside him, and you see Sensabaugh coming over. Now he turns it on, and it actually hit him in the hands, but I'll tell you, he was stretched out. It would have been a very tough catch. The man who gets credit on that is Avellini. That was a long pass to hit the receiver right on the hand.
Pretty good throw. Well, we're going to see our first punt of the afternoon. Bob Parsons on 4th and 10. Lays it up very nicely. Metcalf is back at the 10. Fades to the 8, up to the 15-yard line. Terry Metcalf. 1st and 10 for the Cardinals at their 15-yard line. 11 minutes, 33 seconds left to play in the first half. Tackle made by Gary Fencing, number 45.
When it's so cold, a radiator can freeze solid, and you're still rolling. That's the mark of Xerex. When it's so hot, a radiator can blow its top, and you're still driving cool. That's the mark of Xerex. When corrosion is eating holes in radiators, and you're still going strong. That's the mark of Xerex. Start fresh now with year-round protection. That's the mark of Xerex.
Are you still chained to?
Gotcha.
The rechargeable Norelco rotary razor lets you walk away, free from nicks and cuts. Its 36 surgical steel rotary razor blades are safely protected inside 3 floating heads to give you a comfortable shave that's razor close, razor smooth, for up to 3 weeks on a single charge. The rechargeable Norelco rotary razor. It lets you walk away from.
Gotcha.
The Ford in your future is coming. The new Ford Fairmont. A new car designed for today and the years ahead. Fairmont's mileage ratings are the same as a little VW Rabbit when both are equipped with automatic transmission. Yet Fairmont has 90% of the head, leg, and shoulder room of most large cars and fine all-around visibility. This kind of room is combined with the highest mileage rating in its class. Test drive Fairmont October 7th. Fairmont, the newest, better idea from Ford.
Johnny, we got something special coming up next weekend on the CBS Sports Spectacular. First of a series of broadcasts featuring the world's strongest men competition. You're going to see a lot of Mr. Universe and Mr. America types. They've got the Cup, the big horse race from Belmont.
You're going to see a lot of hernias in that strong man competition, I'll tell you that.
I bet you. They're going to try to lift a barrel that's full of lead, if I understand, in that first competition. That'll be a little tough. Cardinals 1st and 10 from their 15-yard line, and Metcalf caught behind the line. He's at the 10. He's still on his feet at the 15, and he's across the 20. Now, that's about as spectacular a 7-yard run as you'll see all season long. Wayman Bryant finally corralled him, but he is slippery as grease.
Billy Newsom, 87, had him. 87 has his hands on him, but Roger Finney sticks with him. Watch Newsom go down, and Finney says, okay, I'm going to block you again on the ground, but Metcalf takes off, puts a nice move right there on Hartenstein. Good blocking there. A little help for Metcalf as he got downfield, but great individual effort.
2nd down, let's call it 4 for the first down. Ball is at the 21-yard line of the St. Louis Cardinals, who lead 6-3 early in the second period. Again, Metcalf fighting off a block at the line of scrimmage. He's got the first down with that second effort out at the 25-yard line. 1st and 10.
Watch Jerry Latin, the lead back, hit number 50 here. They collide, 50 and Latin. Boy, they both went over tea kettle, you might say. And then Metcalf just kept driving, got the first down. Both teams displaying excellent offense. This is good football, a good football game where you run, you pass, you move the ball downfield.
I like that over tea kettle. Can I have that?
I didn't give you the first part of it.
I didn't think you did. 1st and 10, 25-yard line. Hart wide open down the sideline at the 40-yard line. Boy, he had nothing but daylight out there as Mel Gray found daylight. Alan Ellis made the stop, but the Cardinals are on the move now at their 43.
And the sun has come out in St. Louis. It was very foggy, overcast this morning, muggy, but the sun has come out. There's Don Coryell, coach of the St. Louis Cardinals, who the last 3 years they've been 10-4, 11-3, and 10-4, 31-11 under Don Coryell. That's not bad as the last 3 years.
1st and 10, Cardinals at their 43-yard line. One of the Bears jumped. I don't know if he got back in time. Metcalf taking the handoff, but he was pinned immediately. The marker went down on the far side, and it could be Chicago offside. There's the indication from the referee, Jim Tunney, that will cost the Bears 5. And move it up to the 48-yard line. Looked like Jim Osborne, number 68. Defensive left tackle.
Maybe we can get a good look. We'll listen to the penalty.
Yeah, we're having a
Left side of the line. First down.
All right. I don't think he knew exactly who it was, so he just said left side of the line, taking the cop out, huh?
That covers everybody.
There's Bill Donkers, the backup quarterback. After this play, we're going to try and show you how the Cardinals send in their plays from the bench to Jim Hart. You might wonder why they even sent him into a guy who's got 12 years experience. 1st and 5, Cardinals at their 48-yard line. Otis, first down and then some as he moves it down to the 40. Jerry Latin making the stop, but the Cardinals have another first down at the 40-yard line. Look at him run.
And watch 21, Metcalf out in front. He'll throw a block on Clemens right there, kicking the defensive back out as Latin gets through the hole. And finally the pursuit with Wayman Bryant makes the tackle. But good blocking by Terry Metcalf. The other backs are really helping out today on both teams.
Set out full blast. We'll get back to that signal thing in just a moment. 1st and 10, Cardinals at the Bear 40-yard line. It's got Gray and Kane split out wide. Latin up the middle. Fumble, loose football. Picked up by, looked like Dan Deerdorf. Yes, number 72 of the Cardinals picked up the fumble. And he tried to play like Otis for a second.
That was their special play for today. As he goes through and is hit, another nice hold by the Cardinals, and the ball is ripped loose by Hartenstein, 73, but the ball took a bounce to Deerdorf, who alertly picked it up and ran with it. Most linemen were told to fall on it to make sure you got it, but Deerdorf says, I've been playing tackle too long. He said, I want to run with that ball. And so he got it and got a couple extra yards.
2nd down, 7. Cardinals operating from the 38-yard line of the Chicago Bears. They lead 6-3 here in the second quarter. Jim Hart to Metcalf, and Metcalf again having problems. Back to the 47, and this time he's not going to get out of the trap. Fensick, number 45, broke through from the secondary, the second-year man from Yale, filling in for Doug Plank to make the stop on Metcalf for a big loss. Now here's Hart looking for the play toward the sidelines, and how do they do this, Jim?
Well, there's a coach, and there's Donkers. See Donkers moving his hand, number 10. He was moving his hand, but they have 2 or 3 people signaling in. One is a dummy, which means they're trying in case somebody's trying to steal the signals, and there's one that's live, and they send in the play. Then it's up to Hart to dictate the formation and the situation, and then he can also call an audible if he wants, or he can bust the play before he even comes out of the huddle.
3rd down, 15. Cardinals back at the 45-yard line of the Bears. And you know Hart's going to throw it. He's in trouble behind the line. He's to the 40-yard line. Holds back to Metcalf, and Metcalf will be close for a first down at the 30. Pretty heads-up play there by Jim Hart. They got the first down.
Okay, they put the rush on him, and then he took off. Now he sees the man coming up to make the tackle, and just laterals off to Terry Metcalf, heads-up football. And that's why Jim Hart has done so well the past few years. He thinks, he knows what he's doing, he knows the situation at all times. Even last week when they didn't score any points, he completed 18 of 35 passes for 221 yards.
So Hart comes up with a big 3rd down and 15, first down. And the Cardinals again knocking on the door. They're at the 29-yard line of the Chicago Bears, playing excellent ball control. Latin fighting off a tackler at the line of scrimmage. He's to the 25 and down to the 24-yard line. Clemens, number 43, moving up from the secondary.
A good move by Latin, and you'll see number 55, Doug Buffone, get caught on side. He comes across. Metcalf, 21, throws the block. 55, Buffone tried to make the tackle. Latin dipped out nicely and took advantage of the break that he got on the good block by Metcalf. Jim Osborne finally makes the tackle. Good alert running by Jerry Latin. Good block by the remaining back, and the line prevented penetration. What more could you ask for in a football game?
Pick up a 5 at second down, 5. Cardinals at the 25-yard line of the Chicago Bears. They split Jackie Smith out 10 yards wide to the right up at the top of your screen. Latin behind Metcalf's block fights his way down to the 22-yard line for a pickup of 3. He'll be a couple of yards short of the yardage needed for the first down. Hartenstein, number 73, making the stop on the Cardinal running back.
They decided to try a good thing. The play before worked, so they decided to go the same way, and they got a little bit out of it. 3rd and 2.
A long 2 now needed for the first down. Cardinals' third down efficiency, that's above average. 3 out of 5. Metcalf comes out of the game, and they bring in Otis for the short yardage situation. They were shocked last week against Denver. They were stopped once on a 4th and 1 down to the Denver 5. Cardinals going to call time here with 5 minutes and 20 seconds left to play in the first half. Jim Hart comes over to the sidelines to confer with head coach Don Coryell. We'll be back in St. Louis in just a moment.
Okay, Linda here's got to protect her family.
A woman?
Sure, a woman needs life insurance just as much as a man does. And this New York Life Defense has just the insurance plan to do it. Put the blitz on Linda's money problems. Block out her retirement worries. Come on, Linda, it's all yours now. And a girl!
I've got it. Financial security.
Where the name of the game is life, there's New York Life.
Announcing a unique new motor oil from Exxon Research that can actually save money. New Golden Natural Uniflow. Uniflow was tested in cars like yours. After break-in, it delivered an overall average of 16 extra miles per tank full. Savings like that could cut your gasoline bill the equivalent of about 3 cents a gallon. New Uniflow motor oil is Exxon's best engine protection ever. It conserves gasoline, saves money.
Jack Pardee, the head coach of the Chicago Bears, on the left, and Don Coryell is opposite with the Cardinals on the right. Pardee last year was coach of the year in the National Football Conference, bringing the Bears back to respectability. With that 500 record, Coryell won that honor a couple of years ago and is regarded by most people as really an offensive genius. The job he did at San Diego State and then here in St. Louis.
The Cardinals finished 10-4 last year, didn't make the playoffs.
That's the first time it's happened under the new format that a team has gone 10-4 and did not make the playoffs.
In the NFC.
Right. So they have a goal. That's to get back in the playoffs right now. They come up to the line of scrimmage once again, faced with a third down situation. They've converted 3 out of 5. Got a long 2 yards here for the first down. They have to get just inside the 20-yard line. They're at the 22 of the Chicago Bears. They lead 6-3, and Hart puts it up for Kane, and Kane spears it for the first down at the 16. J.V. Kane, you talk about being stretched out. You can appreciate that, being a former receiver.
Yes, and that'll go down as a 4 or 5 yard gain, but it was a fantastic grab that kept the drive alive by Kane and made the grab. Just the tight end doing a Y pattern right towards the sidelines, almost impossible for the strong safety to defend against. Good play, great catch.
Cardinals go with a second tight end, Jackie Smith joining Kane. Now, they're just telling Chicago they're going to run it, aren't they? And they use that formation.
I would, too, at this situation.
They're at the 16-yard line of the Bears. First down. Penalty marker, I believe, went down as Latin carried to the 13 for a pickup of 3. Been a penalty-free game. Bears last week just had 2 penalties in that game against Detroit. No fumbles, no interceptions. That's how you win ball games. Holding call against St. Louis. So there's a break for Chicago. Walk off of 10 yards by the referee, Jim Tunney, and Jim will tell us now who the culprit is.
Holding, offense, number 81.
That's Jackie Smith.
First down.
Bears have gone to that flex defense that Dallas has used in the past a little bit. San Francisco, are they using it today at all, Johnny?
Yes, they are, and I think that's one thing that the Cardinals are taking advantage of. You see the defensive linemen, who are your front four down linemen, some of them are a yard off the line of scrimmage for a little more flexibility to flow with the play. But the Cardinals have been running at it and been getting some yards.
Back to live action now. It is 1st and 20 from the 26-yard line of the Chicago Bears. Jim Hart got rid of it quickly to Metcalf. Metcalf to the 25, 20. Inside the 15-yard line. Boy, is he a tough man to stop. Bounced to the 10, but they say he went down at the 14. Got a good block from Conrad Dobler. Number 66. Watch for the block by Dobler.
Watch number 66, the right guard, as he'll go down and peel back. But the greatest part of this play was the individual move that he puts on Terry Schmidt, 44 there, to dip back and get the yards. And you're going to see Conrad Dobler, 66, with a nice block to help get a couple of extra yards. So Dobler's going downfield. No penalty called for the man from Sports Illustrated.
Ball at the 15-yard line. It is 2nd down 9 as Metcalf picked up 11. On that little pass, lost football. Who's got it?
Bears.
Bears come up with it at the 15-yard line. And a roar goes up from some of the Bear partisans here at Busch Stadium. Looked like Roger Stillwell, number 71. Fell on the ball, so a big turnover.
It was just a simple goof up on the actual snap of the ball from the center to Hart, and it cost him a big drive and possibly 7 points.
Sit tight, Pop. I'll pump myself. Let me tell you something, gang. Any gas will get you where you want to go. But it ought to be in there cleaning your carburetor, too. Now, you want to make sure you're getting the job done, use new STP gas treatment. You just pump in a can with every tank load of gas, and it goes to work cleaning like a bandit. Clean that carburetor. Get a hold of this, and do it yourself. Keep the change, partner.
Leslie Caron for Color Track by RCA.
In Gigi, my brooch was blue, the leaves were green, and my gown was lavender lace. If these colors don't look right to you, you should know about Color Track from RCA. Getting the color right is what Color Track is all about. It actually adjusts the colors and locks them on track.
Before you see the Color Track system grabs it, aligns it, defines it, sharpens it, tones it, and locks the color on track.
RCA is making television better and better.
60 Minutes takes you on a stakeout as government agents move in on the mob. Tonight at 7, 6 Central and Mountain Time.
Here's what we have in store for you on CBS next Sunday. Part of our regional lineup: Giants in Atlanta, Philadelphia, Detroit. Packers will be in Minnesota. In addition to that, Saints in Chicago to take on the Bears, Tampa Bay and Dallas, San Francisco and Los Angeles, and the national game will be the St. Louis Cardinals against the Washington Redskins. That'll be the doubleheader game. Back to action we go. Payton taking the handoff from Avellini, still on his feet, and charging forward to the 18-yard line. Picked up 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd down 7 as Arneson made the stop. I was talking to Roger Staubach in Dallas last week, who played with Walter Payton in the Pro Bowl, and he said he is absolutely unbelievable, that he has never seen anyone like him. He said he could tell it just by watching him in practice, especially his quick feet.
Yes, very quick feet. He weighs 205 pounds at 5'10". Means he's put together very well, very strong. Not injury prone. He and Harper both have not missed a game in 2 years. They've played every game, and you know running backs can get hurt.
2nd down 7. Avellini, protection is good. Bullet for Latta over the middle. That's a 1st down for the Bears at the 33-yard line as the big tight end hung on. Took a couple of pretty good licks from Arneson and from Niels.
And some pretty good pass blocking for Avellini off the fake to Payton. You could see the Cardinals don't get anywhere close before Avellini throws the ball. And there's a triangle around Greg Latta, but Paul was right on the move. And Dan Piper, 53, watch the center blocking on Davis. Stays with him, stays with him. Davis did the only thing he could do was try and reach his hand up to knock it down, and it was gone.
Pfeiffer is one of those unsung guys. Good football player you don't hear much about. Pitch to Harper, going to throw it. Intended for Payton at the 50-yard line. He was well defended against by Sensabaugh.
That is a new one for the Chicago Bears. Roland Harper throwing to Walter Payton on the option pass. And you now know why they don't use it very often.
That's right.
Because the ball was overthrown, but it always a play, even though it doesn't work, will make teams think about what they might do.
That's
which
right.
is a part of an offensive strategy, to make the defense guess. The Bears haven't run very many draws this week against St. Louis. They ran a ton of them last week against Detroit.
Second down 10 for the Bears at their 33-yard line. They trail 6-3. Got 2:50 left to play in the first half. Payton trying to get loose, and this time he does not get back to the line of scrimmage. Tim Carney, number 56, on the tackle.
And that was the draw. They tried the draw that time, and St. Louis probably worked all week on the draw because they saw the Bears do it so well against Detroit. This time they did finally run the draw, and St. Louis had it defensed very well.
Loss of a yard. It'll be 3rd down 11. I still want to get back to this Sayers-Payton thing. Now, if the game was down to one play, you would rather have Sayers in there to run that one play for you if you needed.
Because I think he's probably the quickest man on 2 feet I've ever seen. But as far as durability is concerned, as far as being able to play a whole game, as far as blocking, as far as speed downfield, I'll go with Payton.
3rd down. Bears need 11 for the first down from their 32, and Avellini wants to put it up. Flushed out of the pocket. He's in trouble, gets it away, completes it. No, he doesn't either. Greg Latta was the intended receiver. It goes as an incompleted forward pass, and the Bears will be punting for the second time this afternoon. Latta, former World Football League player who played under Jack Pardee.
That was an excellent play by Lee Nelson. Of course, the Cardinals in some of these situations are putting 5 and 6